Hi, everybody. It's Elaine Clayman from the Elaine Clayman Justine Bray team at Brown Harris Stevens. And we are in my art studio because that is where my computer is. So we are going to do an update on the market. And when I looked at my calendar today, it said tomorrow is today again. And I'll attribute that line to Mr. Jerry Spanger. There is some good news, and I want to give you all a little bit of background that you may or may not know. Street Easy Zillow was doing something that was quite upsetting to a lot of brokers, and I'm speaking for me, not for Brown Harris Stevens, so I want to make that very clear. But I was not happy, as many brokers weren't, that Street Easy was hiring people they called premier brokers. And what they would do is they would put the brokers onto listings like mine and other brokers' listings, and they would spend thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars to have their name at the top above the actual listing broker. And there were a lot of unsuspecting buyers who would show up at open houses or an appointment only to find out the broker they called was not the actual broker. And it created some big problems in the industry. Well, I just read, and I can't say I'm displeased. Nationally, the online real estate service Zillow has closed all of its operations in the 24 markets it served. So I am quite pleased to read that, and I'm not sure they served anybody but themselves. But anyway, as we go on, let's talk about the real estate market and where I think it's going. Some people will say I'm pessimistic. I say that I'm realistic. And what I've always been respected for is telling the truth about where things are. I don't like to make them glossy if they're not, or make them bad if they're good, et cetera, et cetera. We are clearly in a Darwinian moment. Some companies will last, some agents will last, some companies will not last, and some agents will not last. So it is a clear message from Darwin. It will be survival of the fittest. Now, residential real estate is extremely dependent, unlike other businesses, it's extremely dependent on every segment of the market. It's not a nail salon where people come in and get their nails done, or a hair salon where they go in and get their hair done, and you're done. We are dependent on everybody else, every segment of the market opening. And as we watch all of the shows like Squawk Box and Follow the Market, we know that there's a lot of industries in trouble. For example, retail. We don't know if there's going to be a Nordstrom's at the end of this recession. We don't know if there's going to be a Macy's at the end of this recession. When those people are out of work, we as real estate brokers have fewer people to sell to. They may have to rent, and the rental market will do well, but the sales market will unquestionably suffer. We also were very pleased with all of the wealthy Chinese investors who came in and were buying our condos. And clearly, the affluent Chinese are not going to be flying to New York anytime soon. The planes are not flying. Crude oil has gone through the floor. And so we can't look forward to getting those investors anymore. More than ever, people are appreciating their home and seeing it as their safe haven. We've all gotten in touch with that. And some people will want more, and some people will be satisfied with where they are. But there's going to be a wait and see moments here. They can call real estate an essential business all they want. However, when it comes to buying an apartment, a buyer signs a contract. A seller signs a contract after the brokers negotiated a successful deal. But what exactly does a real estate agent do? After we do the marketing, then we do open houses. Can we do open houses? No, we cannot do open houses. Can we show your home. No, we can't show your home. And part of that is even a moral responsibility. Do we have a responsibility to the sellers we represent when it comes to bringing a stranger where we haven't tested them? We don't even know if the tests work, but let's say the tests did work. Will we be able to bring them into your home? I wouldn't feel comfortable bringing them into your home, and I wouldn't want to bring them into my home. So that's a good test right there. I think that's another interesting factor going on. Can appraisers use the last sales as comps, knowing the market is going down, has gone down? We don't even know where the market is, but it's certainly not where it was. So how does an appraiser appraise an apartment today? It doesn't seem possible to me. Will buildings allow buyers to move in? Well, some are and some are not. We went into this crisis with 7 contracts, signed contracts, and we are dealing with one problem after the other. The attorneys have been great. They've been figuring out ways to get a contract signed. It's been extremely difficult when there's a payoff bank. That has not worked very well, but they're still trying to figure that out. But there's buildings who were saying, I don't care if it's an essential business, you're not moving into my building. There are buyers who are saying, I'm phobic about having movers come in, and I don't want to move into an apartment with all my furniture and wipe out an entire household of furniture. So that's clearly a problem. There's a lot of moving parts for brokers. It's not simply signing a contract. We're facing lots of problems. There's a confidence factor for buyers. Are they going to feel confident about buying an apartment, not knowing where it's going? So one of the things that I'm extremely conscious of is that we've had 3 major crises in the last 30 years. We had 9/11. We're hardly recuperating from that, probably never will. In 2008, the market went down and there was a major crisis in the market. And now we have a worldwide pandemic, which is putting people out of work. There's an emotional factor when you buy residential real estate. And I think, that recovery, is going to take a long time. That's what I think. My closing thoughts, again, are the people who are going to come into the market first, I believe, and again, this is just my opinion. I have 33 years of experience, but my opinion is it's going to be investors. Investors are not going to be looking to pay market prices. They're going to buy strictly by the numbers, and they're going to be looking for deals. Perhaps there's going to be estates. We've been doing a lot of estate sales. Maybe estate people, the people selling estates are going to say, look, let's just get rid of this thing. We're paying out monthly on it. I want to get rid of it. So the investors are going to focus on that. They're going to focus on condos. The co-ops are going to be on hold. After the market presents a final price, is it going to be 10% off, 20% off, 30% off? It could very well be. Because the people who want to sell will really want to sell. And then the co-ops are going to follow. And then we're going to be dealing with boards saying, how do I protect the people in this building? Am I going to let a deal close at that 10, 20, 30% less? So this is going to be an upward battle. So I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be realistic. And that's what I'm bringing to you today. So on behalf of my entire team and my partners, Justine Bray and Stuart Gradzitsky and my entire team, we wish you all well, stay home, be safe, and I think that's the sacrifice we have to make today to come out of this at the end. So thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, please email me at eclayman@bhsusa.com, and thank you for tuning in.